How did one sentence at our kitchen table turn into legal papers, handed to me in my office lobby? I still remember my coworkers staring while I tried to smile and pretend it was just mail. Why did he stay calm for months, then end it in public with rules that started the same day? My name is Alma Winemiller, and I have been with Ethan Cole for 10 years. We were married for 7 of those years, but I like to say time did not mean ownership. I worked in medical billing at a clinic, and I was good at it. I paid attention to numbers, codes, and rules. At home, I did not like rules. At home, I wanted feelings to be the only thing that mattered. That night started like a normal weeknight. The kids were loud in the living room, and I was tired from work. Noah had left his shoes in the hall again. Mia was dragging a blanket behind her like a tail. Ethan was at the sink, washing the same pan he always washed, like it was a habit he could not stop. I watched him move, calm and steady, and I felt annoyed for a reason I did not want to say. He asked if I could sit for a minute and talk about the weekend. I said I had already planned my weekend. He asked what I planned. I said I needed space and time for myself. He asked if the family could do one thing together, like the park or the movie place. I said he was acting like I needed to ask permission. That was when I said it. I told him to stop acting like we were married. In my head, it sounded fair. I told myself I was being honest. I told myself I was freeing both of us. I told myself a label did not matter if I did not feel seen. He blinked like he did not understand the language for a second. Then he looked at the kids, and his face went careful, like he was choosing his steps on ice. He asked what I meant by that. I said he knew what I meant. I said he was always watching my time, my phone, my mood. He asked if I felt unsafe. I said no, and I rolled my eyes on purpose. I wanted him to feel small. He asked if I wanted a divorce. I said he was jumping to drama again, and I said he made everything so heavy. Ethan did not raise his voice. He did not slam anything. He dried his hands and asked if we could talk without the kids hearing. I said the kids were fine. Noah looked up from his game and then looked down fast. Mia hugged my leg and asked if we were going to have dessert. I said yes, because I did not want Ethan to win by making the kids sad. I told myself that was love. Ethan asked if I was coming to bed later. I said I had work emails. That was not true, but it was close enough to sound true. He nodded once. He took Mia to brush her teeth. I stayed at the table and scrolled on my phone, like I was the only one keeping the world moving. A message preview popped up from Janelle Ortiz. She asked if I was coming out on Friday. I texted back that I deserved a night that was not about family duty. I added a little laughing face. I could already feel the rooftop air and the music, and the way people listened to me when I told stories. At home, Ethan listened, but he listened like he wanted facts. My friends listened like they wanted feelings. Ethan came back and asked if I could help with Noah's lunch for tomorrow. I said he could do it. He said he did do it most days. I said he was keeping score, and that was childish. He asked if I could just answer yes or no. I said no, because he was acting like a manager. He stood still for a moment. Then he said he would do it. He walked to the counter and started packing the lunch. His calm made me angry again, because it made me feel like the bad one. I did not want to be the bad one. I wanted to be the brave one. Later, when the kids were in bed, Ethan asked again if we could talk. I said I was too tired. He asked if we could pick a time tomorrow. I said he was proving my point because he was acting like we had meetings. He looked at the stove clock like it was telling him something. I saw his phone light up on the counter with a reminder that said, meeting, personal. I pretended I did not see it. He asked if I was seeing someone else. My stomach turned, but I did not show it. I laughed like it was a joke. I asked why he was being paranoid. He said he was asking because things did not add up lately. I said he was imagining things and making me the villain. I told him he should be grateful I still came home at all. He stared at me, but not in an angry way. It was like he was trying to memorize me. Then he said he would sleep in the guest room tonight. I said he was being dramatic. He said he needed space to think. I said he always needed space when he got called out. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible stories. He walked past me and stopped near the hallway closet. I heard a soft click, like a lock. I glanced over and saw him put something small into the drawer, then close it. It could have been anything. Keys, papers, a charger. Still, the sound bothered me. I told myself he was hiding something too, so my secrets were not worse. I went up the stairs with my phone in my hand. In the bedroom, I opened my messages and stared at the thread with Brandon Pike. He worked sales and came by the clinic sometimes. He always acted like he was surprised to see me, like I was a lucky moment. I liked that feeling. I typed that I had a hard night. He replied that I deserved better than a man who acted like my dad. I felt relief, like someone finally understood me the right way. I took a quick photo of my face in the mirror with a sad look. I did not send it, I saved it. Sometimes it helped to have proof that I was the one hurting. Downstairs, the guest room door closed quietly. No slam, no shout. That was his style. It made him look mature, and that made me look unstable if I pushed too hard. I knew that, so I planned to push in public instead. In public, people believed me faster. I lay in bed and listened to the house settle. The fridge hummed. A car passed outside. My phone buzzed again, and I checked it too fast. It was only a calendar alert for tomorrow on Ethan's phone, because our devices sometimes synced. It said paper drop at 9:30 a.m., like a normal errand. I stared at it and felt a small cold line in my chest. I told myself it meant nothing. I told myself Ethan could not do anything without me. I told myself he would cool down and come back, like always. Still, I did not sleep well, because his quiet felt like a door that had already started to close. The next morning, I acted normal on purpose. I poured coffee like I owned the kitchen. Ethan was already up, packing lunches with the same quiet hands. Noah sat at the table and picked at cereal. Mia hummed and swung her feet. It looked like a family picture, but it felt like a stage. Ethan asked if we could talk after work. I said I had a long day and I did not know. He asked if I could at least say where I would be tonight. I said I would be at work, and then maybe the gym. He said he was not trying to control me, and he only wanted to plan for the kids. I said he was always finding a nice way to control me. He did not argue. He asked Noah if he had his homework folder. Noah nodded too fast. Mia asked if Daddy would pick her up from school. Ethan said yes. I stayed quiet, because I did not like how calm he sounded. Calm can look like strength. I wanted him to look weak. On the drive to the clinic, I practiced my story in my head. I told myself it was not lying if it was how I felt. I told myself that if Ethan acted like a husband, then he pushed me into my choices. That was the kind of logic that made me feel clean. At work, the open plan office was already buzzing. Phones rang, printers ran, and people talked about weekend plans. I sat at my desk and opened a spreadsheet, not because I needed it right then, but because it made me look busy. My screen filled with rows and numbers. I liked that feeling. Numbers do not judge you. People do. Janelle rolled her chair close and asked if I was okay because I looked tired. I sighed and said Ethan had been on me again. She asked what he did. I said he acted like my time belonged to him. I said he asked where I was and who I was with, like I was a teenager. Janelle frowned and said that sounded toxic. I nodded like I had been waiting for someone to say it. Another coworker, Lila, overheard and asked if things were bad at home. I said I did not like to talk about it, but I also did not stop talking. I said Ethan was married to control. I said he kept score about chores and money. I said he made me feel guilty for wanting one night out. I left out the part where I had already been taking nights out. Janelle asked if I wanted to come to the rooftop bar Friday. I said yes, and I said I needed friends who understood. She said I deserved to feel free. I smiled, and I felt the room tilt toward me. Being seen felt better than being right. Around midday, I walked to the clinic billing desk to drop off paperwork. Brandon Pike was there, leaning on the counter like he belonged. He wore his work badge and a clean shirt, and he looked like the kind of man who always had time. When he saw me, his eyes changed. It was small, but I noticed it. He asked how I was doing. I said I had a rough night. He said Ethan did not appreciate me. I said Ethan acted like he owned me. Brandon shook his head and said I was too smart to live like that. I felt my shoulders loosen. I told myself that was proof I was right. A nurse walked by, and I stepped back like Brandon and I were just talking business. Brandon asked if I wanted to meet later in the week. I said I had to check my schedule. He said he could wait. He always said that, like waiting for me was romantic instead of risky. Back at my desk, my phone buzzed with a missed call. It showed no caller ID. My heart jumped for a second, and I did not know why. I looked around, but no one was watching. I cleared the notification and told myself it was spam. A few minutes later, Ethan texted and asked what time I would be home. I stared at the message like it was a test. I typed that I would be late because the clinic was short-staffed. It was not fully true, but it sounded responsible. He replied with, "Okay," and nothing else. That bothered me more than an argument. After work, I went to the gym lobby, not because I planned to exercise hard, but because it gave me a place to be. I sat in my car for a minute and checked messages. Brandon sent a short note and said he missed my smile. I told him I missed feeling wanted. That felt honest, so I told myself it excused the rest. Inside the gym, I walked slow and looked at my reflection in the glass. I saw a woman who looked like she was trying. I liked that version of me. I posted a photo of my shoes in a water bottle, nothing risky, just enough to show I was working on myself. Janelle liked it fast. When I got home, the house felt split in half. Ethan had moved his laptop to the dining table. The kids' backpacks were lined up by the door like a small wall. On the counter, I saw 2 mugs spaced far apart. It was petty, but it also looked like a plan. Ethan asked how my day was. I said it was exhausting, and I said I did not have energy for questions. He said he was not asking questions, and he was only checking in. I said his calm voice was another way to make me feel guilty. He asked if I could read to Mia tonight because she asked for me. I said I would, but I did it like it was a favor. While I read, Mia played with my hair and asked if Daddy was mad. I said Daddy was just tired. I did not say the real thing, because the real thing made me look bad. After the kids were asleep, Ethan stood near the stairwell and asked again if we could talk. I said he had already decided I was wrong, so why talk? He said he had not decided anything, and he only wanted the truth. I laughed and asked if he wanted a confession like in a movie. He said he wanted respect. I said respect follows results, and I had results. I said I kept the house running too. I said he should be grateful I stayed. Ethan's face tightened for 1 second, then he relaxed it again. That reset scared me. It looked practiced. He walked to the hallway closet and opened it. I saw a plain folder with a label that said bank. I also saw another that said household. He did not show me what was inside. He simply moved them to the top shelf and shut the door. The motion was quiet, but it landed loud in my mind. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing. I said he was acting dramatic again. He said he was trying to keep things stable for the kids. I said the kids were fine, and he was the one making it weird. He went to the guest room without another word. I stood in the hallway, staring at the closed door. I felt heat in my face, like shame trying to become anger. I grabbed my phone and opened my messages with Janelle. I told her Ethan was doing the silent treatment now. She replied that men do that when they lose control. I looked at Brandon's thread again. I almost asked him to call me, but I did not. I told myself I was being smart. Still, I could not shake the feeling that Ethan's calm was not peace. it was distance, and distance can turn into something final. Friday came faster than I wanted, and I still acted like it was my right. At work, I told people I needed a reset. I said Ethan had been tense all week. I said he was acting like a husband when I had told him to stop. I made it sound like I was brave for speaking up. Janelle asked if I was still coming to the rooftop bar. I said yes, and I said I needed to breathe. She said I should dress like I was single. I laughed and said I felt single most days anyway. At home, Ethan asked what time I would be back. I said, not late. He asked what not late meant. I said he was doing it again. He said he only needed to know for the kids. I said the kids would be asleep, and he could handle one night. He asked if I wanted him to pick me up. I said I could get a ride. He said he did not want me to be unsafe. I said he was not my dad. He nodded like he heard a rule, not an insult. He told Noah to brush his teeth. He told Mia she could pick a story. He did everything like a schedule, calm and clean. I went upstairs and chose clothes that made me feel powerful. I told myself I was not trying to get attention. I told myself I was trying to remember myself. Still, I checked the mirror twice. I took a photo and deleted it, then took another and kept it. That was my pattern lately. Keep the ones that prove you are still wanted. On the way out, Ethan stood near the stairs and asked if I could text when I arrived. I said I was not a child. He said it was not about control, and it was about safety. I said safety was a cover word for control. He did not argue. He simply said, okay. I drove to meet Janelle, and we took a rideshare together. In the back seat, she asked how things were at home. I said Ethan was doing the silent treatment. I said he was trying to punish me. She said men do that when they lose power. I said that sounded right. At the rooftop bar, the air smelled like perfume and fried food. The city lights looked like a show, and people acted like they were in it. The music was loud enough that no one had to speak carefully. That was the point. Careful speech is for people with guilt. Janelle introduced me to two of her friends from another office. One of them asked if I was married. I paused, then said it was complicated. Janelle jumped in and said my husband was intense. I smiled like it was a joke, but I felt warm inside. Intense sounded like a problem that was not my fault. We found a table near the railing. People came and went, and I kept my phone face down to look disciplined. Still, I checked it when no one watched. Brandon had sent a message earlier and asked how my night was. I did not answer yet. I told myself I was being careful. I told myself that meant I was not doing anything wrong. Janelle asked if Ethan had been nicer since I stood up for myself. I said he had been quiet. I said he was acting hurt to make me feel guilty. One of the friends asked what he did. I said he asked where I went and questioned my time. I said he acted like a husband when I had made it clear I needed space. The friend frowned and said that sounded controlling. I nodded like I was proud. Someone took a group photo. Janelle said we should do a Girls' Night Freedom post. I said, okay. I leaned in and smiled. I did not think about Noah waking up at night and calling for me. I did not think about Mia asking if Daddy was mad. I thought about the comments I would get. We moved to the smoking patio, even though I did not smoke. People talked closer there. A man joked that I looked like I was on the market. I laughed and said I felt like I had been on the market for years because my husband forgot how to date. Janelle laughed too loud. I liked that she laughed too loud. Loud laughter makes the story feel true. My phone buzzed. Ethan asked if I was okay and if I got there safe. I showed Janelle the message. She rolled her eyes and said he was acting like my handler. I typed back that I was fine and that I was busy. He replied with, okay. Again, no fight, no begging. It felt wrong, like a door that should stick was sliding shut. Around midnight, Janelle asked who would take us home. I said I would get a ride share. She said that was risky. I said Ethan offered to pick me up, and I could let him do one useful thing. Janelle laughed and asked if I was serious. I said yes, and I said he should see that I had a life. I texted Ethan and told him where we were. He replied that he was on the way. I felt a small thrill. I told myself it was not cruelty. I told myself it was balance. If he could make me feel small at home, I could make him feel small in public. When Ethan arrived, he did not come up to the rooftop. He waited in the parking garage below. I made us take our time. Janelle wanted to go down fast, but I said we should finish our drinks. I watched the clock like it was a tool. In the elevator, Janelle asked if I wanted to make him wait. I said he needed to learn patience. She said men learn when they get embarrassed. I said that sounded right. In the parking garage, the lights were harsh and flat. Ethan's car was parked near the exit, pointed toward the street, like he planned to leave fast. When we walked up, he stepped out and nodded at Janelle. He asked if we had a good night. I said yes, and did not thank him. Janelle said something teasing about him being our driver. Ethan smiled slightly and said it was fine. She asked if he was always like this. He said he was trying to be helpful. I could see she wanted him to snap, but he did not. Ethan asked if I was ready to go. I said he could wait a minute. I leaned against the car and checked my phone like I was too important. I saw Janelle lift her phone and aim it at us. She said she wanted a quick video for her story. I did not stop her. I turned my face so I looked calm and in control. Ethan asked if she was recording. Janelle said it was just fun. Ethan said he preferred not to be filmed. Janelle asked why, and she said he was being weird. Ethan said he did not like being posted without consent. Janelle laughed and said that sounded like a married man rule. I laughed too, even though something about his words felt sharp and clean. We got into the car. Ethan kept both hands on the wheel. He did not look at me much. He asked if I had fun. I said yes. He asked if I could tell him a time for tomorrow, because Noah had soccer. I said he could handle it. He said he could, but he wanted to know if I planned to come. I said he was doing the husband act again. He went quiet. At a red light, his phone lit up in a holder near the dash. I saw a small icon I did not recognize, and then I heard a soft beep, like a device starting. Ethan tapped the screen once and turned it face down. He did it fast, like he did not want attention. My skin went cold for a second. I asked what that was. He said it was nothing important. I said he was hiding things now. He said he was focusing on driving. I said he was making secrets too, and he had no right to judge me. He did not answer. He drove like he was carrying glass. When we got home, he walked in with me, but went straight to the guest room. He did not ask where I had been inside the bar. He did not ask who talked to me. He did not accuse me. He simply said goodnight to the kids' closed doors, very quietly, like a promise. I stood in the hallway with my shoes still on, and I felt angry because I could not control his face anymore. I opened my phone and saw that Janelle had already posted the rooftop photo. The caption said something about being free. People had started liking it. I stared at the screen and told myself the likes meant I was right. Then I looked toward the guest room door and realized I did not hear him moving around in there at all. That silence felt like planning. I planned the family dinner like it was a rescue mission. In my head, the goal was simple. I wanted witnesses. I wanted people to see Ethan as the problem. If enough people believed it, then it would feel true. I told myself that was how life worked. We met at a family restaurant with a long table and bright lights. The kind of place where kids could be loud and nobody cared. My parents came first. My mum, Sharon, hugged me and asked if I was okay. I said I was tired and stressed, and I said Ethan had been acting strange. My dad, Greg, gave Ethan a short nod when he arrived. He did not hug him. He also did not hug me right away. That annoyed me. Ethan walked in with Noah and Mia. Noah held his soccer ball like a shield. Mia carried a small toy and looked around for dessert. Ethan helped them sit, and he asked the server for water for the kids. He moved like a man who had practiced calm. Ethan's parents came next. Patricia hugged the kids and asked about school. Raymond shook Ethan's hand like it mattered. Ethan's sister Cara came too. She asked Noah if he still liked soccer. Noah said yes, but his eyes stayed low. Everyone sat, and I started first because silence makes me nervous. I asked Ethan how work was, but I said it in a tone that sounded like I already knew he would be boring. He said work was fine and that he was busy. My mom asked me how my week was. I said it was hard, because I felt like I lived under rules. I looked at Ethan when I said it. Patricia asked what I meant by rules. I said Ethan watched my time and asked too many questions. I said he acted like we were married, even when I had asked for space. Cara frowned and asked what kind of questions. I said he asked where I went and when I would be home. I said he made everything feel like a report. Ethan asked if we could talk about this later. I said there was never a later with him, because he always wanted private talks to control the story. Raymond asked Ethan if that was true. Ethan said he only asked because we had 2 kids and needed planning. I said planning was his favorite excuse. My mom leaned in and said a woman needs room to breathe. She said a man should not act like a guard. I nodded, and I felt the table tilt toward me. That feeling is like a drink. It makes you brave and careless. Greg cleared his throat and asked if this was really dinner talk. I said it mattered because I felt alone. I said Ethan treated me like a worker in my own house. Ethan asked what he did that felt like that. I said he kept score on chores and money. I said he acted offended when I wanted a night out. I did not mention the rooftop photo. I did not mention Brandon. Cara asked if I was still going to the kids' school events. I said yes, but I said Ethan made it hard by being tense. Ethan said he had asked me 3 times about Noah's soccer game, and I said I was busy. I said he was twisting it, and I said he wanted me to look like a bad mom. I watched Noah's face when I said that. Noah stared at the table, and his cheeks went red. Patricia asked me to slow down. She said the kids were listening. I said the kids needed to see adults stand up for themselves. Patricia's mouth tightened. She asked Ethan if he was okay. Ethan said he was fine. He kept his voice flat. That flat voice made me feel exposed, like my emotions were loud and messy. The server came with menus, and the moment broke. Mia asked for fries. I said yes right away because I wanted to look warm. Ethan asked Noah what he wanted. Noah said he wanted chicken, then asked if we were still going home together. Ethan said yes, we were going home, and he said everyone would sleep and wake up as normal. He said it like a plan, not like comfort. While we waited for food, my mom asked if Ethan was sleeping in the guest room. I said yes, because he liked to punish me with silence. Ethan said he slept there because he did not want to argue in front of the kids. I said he was acting noble now. Raymond asked if we were thinking about divorce. I laughed and said men always jump to divorce when they do not get control. Ethan looked down at his phone once. It lit up with a calendar reminder. I saw a line that said follow up and a time in the morning. He turned the screen off quickly. Cara saw it too. She did not ask, but her eyes tracked it. I felt a small squeeze in my chest. I told myself it was just work. The food came, people ate, and the kids got louder, which helped me. Noise makes it easier to hide cracks. Still, my dad watched me in a way I did not like. He asked if I was happy. I said nobody is happy when they are controlled. He asked if I had done anything that could make Ethan worried. I smiled and said he was blaming me now. My mom jumped in and said I was a good wife and a good mother. I accepted it like proof. After dinner, we stood outside under the restaurant lights. Patricia hugged the kids again and told them she loved them. Raymond told Ethan to call him later. Cara asked me if I wanted to talk sometime, just us. I said sure, but I said it like I was giving her a gift. On the drive home, Ethan asked if I felt better after dinner. I said yes, because people finally understood. He asked if I noticed Noah got quiet. I said Noah was sensitive and Ethan made him anxious. Ethan said Noah asked if Dad was leaving. I said Ethan should stop making threats then. Ethan said he had not threatened anything. He said he had only asked for honesty. I said honesty was not a courtroom. He went quiet again. The next afternoon, I showed up at the school pickup line. I did it on purpose. I wanted to look involved. Parents sat in cars and scrolled phones. Teachers walked kids out in small groups. Noah came first. He saw me and waved, but his smile looked careful. Ethan was there too, parked 2 cars behind me. He had arrived early, like always. When Noah got in my car, he asked if we were still a family. I said yes, and I said, adults just have stress. He asked if Dad was mad at me. I said Dad was confused. I made it sound like Ethan was the one who could not handle life. A teacher leaned down by my window and asked if we needed to update any contact details. She said there had been a question about the home address for records. I asked why. She said it was routine when there were changes. I said there were no changes. My voice came out sharper than I wanted. In the mirror, I saw Ethan watching from his car. He did not wave. He did not glare. He just watched like he was counting something. My phone buzzed with a message from Janelle, asking if I saw the comments on the rooftop post. I ignored it. For the first time, the attention felt dangerous. Noah buckled his seatbelt and asked if I could come to soccer this weekend. I said I would try. He asked if I promised. I said yes, but I said it too fast. He looked at me like he did not fully believe it. When I pulled away, I saw Ethan turn his car onto the road behind me. He kept a safe distance. It looked normal to anyone else. To me, it felt like a quiet kind of control I could not name. I told myself I was still the one in charge, but the words did not land the way they used to. The next week felt like a slow slide, and I kept pretending I was walking on purpose. Ethan did not chase me anymore. He did not beg, and he did not argue in circles. He moved like a man who had put his feelings in a box and labeled it later. That should have made me calm, but it made me restless. I tried to pull him back into the old pattern. I wanted him to get loud so I could point and say he was the problem. Instead, he got quieter and more exact. He woke up early. He made the kids breakfast. He packed snacks. He wrote down small things on sticky notes and placed them near the keys. One note said, "Bring forms." I told myself it was about school, but it sat in my mind like a warning. On Tuesday, I came home and found the printer tray open. A blank page sat on top, like it had just slid out. There was a faint toner smell, the kind that clings to your hands if you touch the paper. I asked what he printed. He said it was nothing important. I asked why a blank page came out. He said the printer was acting up. He said he would fix it. The way he said it felt finished. I told Janelle about it in the office break room, like it was funny. I said Ethan was doing weird paperwork stuff to scare me. She asked if he was planning something. I laughed and said he could not do anything without me. I said he was just trying to feel powerful. Janelle nodded and said, "Men like control." I agreed, because that kept my story clean. Brandon texted less that week, and it annoyed me. I sent him a message and asked if he was mad. He replied late and said he was busy traveling. He added that I should not stress and that I would be free soon. I liked the word free, even though it also sounded like he was already stepping away. At the clinic, I stayed later on purpose, not always because I had to, but because I could. I told myself that if Ethan did not like it, that was his weakness. When he texted asking what time I would be home, I replied with a vague line about a patient account issue. It was easy to hide behind work. Work is a perfect costume. On Thursday, Ethan asked if we could do a budget check because the kids' school fees were due. I said he was obsessed with money. He said he was not obsessed, and he only wanted clarity. I said clarity was a nice word for control. He asked if I could just look at the numbers with him for 10 minutes. I said no, because I did not want to sit beside him and feel like a suspect. That night, Noah came to me with a paper from school. He said he needed a signature. I said to ask Dad because Dad loved forms. Noah looked confused and asked why Dad slept in the other room. I said Dad liked being dramatic. Noah asked if Dad would leave. I said no, and I said Dad was just being stubborn. The words tasted wrong, but I still used them. Saturday morning, Ethan took the kids to soccer. I told myself I would go, but I moved slowly on purpose. I scrolled my phone. I answered Brandon's message. I watched a short video Janelle sent of people laughing at a meme about clingy husbands. I smiled at it, then I felt sick. I did not go to soccer. I texted Ethan that I had a headache. He replied with okay. No guilt trip, no anger, just that small word again. Later, Ethan asked if I could come with him to the supermarket because we needed groceries. I said yes, because I wanted to look cooperative for once. In the store, he pushed the cart, and I walked beside him like I was doing him a favor. He picked the kids' cereal and fruit without asking me. He looked at prices, compared brands, and stayed calm. I hated how normal he made it look. At the checkout, the line was long. A woman behind us talked about holiday plans. Mia asked for candy. Ethan said no and offered her a banana instead. Mia pouted, then accepted it. I watched him handle it with no drama, and it made me feel replaceable. When the cashier scanned items, Ethan paid with his card. I noticed he did not hand me the card like he used to. He kept it in his own wallet, the receipt printed, and he took it right away and folded it neatly. He did not leave it in the bag. He put it in his pocket like it mattered. In the parking lot, I asked why he kept the receipt. He said he wanted to track spending. I said he was acting like we were in a business. He said we were a family with responsibilities. I said families should not feel like reports. He said reports can protect kids. I laughed and said he sounded like a lawyer. He did not react. He loaded groceries into the trunk and closed it with a soft, controlled push. That afternoon, I went upstairs and saw the guest bed made so neatly it looked unused. Still, the pillow had a small dent, like someone had slept there and then fixed it fast. In the hallway, I heard a low hum for a few seconds, like a shredder. It stopped before I could fully place it. I told myself it was the vacuum. I did not ask, because asking would mean I was scared. In the evening, Ethan sat at the dining table with his laptop open. I walked behind him and saw a spreadsheet on the screen, just columns and rows. No title I could read. I asked what it was. He said it was household tracking. I said he was becoming obsessive. He said he was becoming careful. He clicked to another tab quickly, and the screen showed something about delivery tracking. He closed it right away. I told myself he was trying to punish me with being responsible. I told myself I could still win because I was better at people. People believed me. Paper did not. I tried one more tactic. I told him he had not touched me in months, and that it made me feel unwanted. I said a husband should want his wife. He looked up slowly. He asked if I really wanted closeness, or if I wanted proof he still needed me. I said he was twisting my words. He said he did not want to be used as a test. I said he was cold. He said he was tired. He stood and walked to the stairwell landing, the spot where the house always echoed. I followed him because I did not want him to end the conversation. I wanted the last word. I told him he was ruining our family with his attitude. He asked if I understood what I had said in the kitchen weeks ago. I said I had only asked for space. He said I did not ask for space. I asked to erase the marriage when it suited me. I told him he was making me the villain. He looked at me with a calm face that did not invite debate. He said he would not fight in front of the kids, and he would not beg. He said he would handle it properly. I went to work on Monday like nothing could touch me. I wore my calm face and told myself Ethan's properly line was just another mood. I said to myself that he was the kind of man who threatened and then folded. I needed to believe that because the other option felt like a cliff. By late morning, I had already told 2 coworkers that Ethan was being cold. I said he was doing a silent punishment. I said he wanted me to beg. Leela asked if we were separating. I said no, and I laughed like the idea was silly. I said Ethan liked drama, not action. Around noon, I went down to the office tower lobby to grab lunch. The lobby smelled like coffee and floor cleaner. People stood in lines and tapped their phones. I saw Marcus near the front desk, talking about a delivery. I waved like I owned the place. A man in a plain jacket stepped toward me and asked if I was Alma Winemiller. I said yes. He asked me to confirm my address. I felt my skin tighten. I asked who he was. He said he was there to serve documents. I said he must be mistaken. He said he was not. He held out an envelope and asked me to take it. I said I did not have to. He said I could refuse, but service would still be noted. I looked around and saw Marcus watching. 2 people from accounting were also looking. My face got hot, and I hated that my life was becoming office talk. I took the envelope. My hand shook, but I kept my chin up. I told Marcus it was just paperwork. Marcus asked if I needed to sit. I said no, and I walked away fast, like speed could turn it back into nothing. In the stairwell, I opened the envelope. The first page had Ethan's name and my name, and words that did not care about feelings. I saw petition and temporary orders. My eyes jumped over lines like my brain was trying to escape. I called Ethan. He did not answer. I texted him and asked what he thought he was doing. A minute later, a message came back. He said we could only talk about the kids by text for now, and everything else should be in writing. He told me the schedule was included, and he asked me to read it. I wanted to scream. Instead, I called Brandon. It rang, then went to voicemail. I texted him and said I needed him. The message showed seen and then nothing. That empty space felt like a slap. I read the pages again, slower. The temporary orders said our money was separated starting now. It said I could not move funds or open new joint debt. It listed who paid what for the kids this month. It said we would use a set method for communication, only about the kids, and only in a calm tone. It said pickups and drop-offs had exact times. It said Noah's soccer and Mia's school routine would stay the same. It said Ethan had temporary use of the house on school nights, and I had a set time to collect personal items with notice. My throat went dry. The papers were not angry. They were clean. They were like a door with a lock that had already clicked. I marched back into the lobby and saw Marcus still near the desk. He asked if I was okay. I said Ethan was trying to ruin me. I said he was abusive in a legal way. Marcus did not respond the way I wanted. He only said he was sorry and asked if I needed HR. I said no, because HR would not clap for my story. My phone buzzed again. It was a message from Ethan's mother, Patricia. She said she would pick up the kids after school today, and she said she had their coats and snacks. She said the routine would be calm. I stared at the words and felt my control slip. I could not argue with snacks and coats. I read the last page and saw the court date line, the case number, the stamp. It was real. It was already moving. And the part that hurt most was how normal it all looked, like I was just one more file in a stack. I stood in that bright lobby with people passing by, and I understood that my version of the marriage was not the version that mattered anymore.